Geezer here, Tuesday, October 2nd. I see my shadows posting up that I'm a shelter hiker. It's true. You know why I'm a shelter hiker? Because I've been exposed to convection and all sorts of rain and wind and dark nights. Yeah, I'm a biggie on shelter. I'm a biggie on shelter because when we're doing planned trips, not the spur of the moment deal, right? Not the spur of the moment, grab a bag and take a walk or take a hike. When we're doing planned trips, the shelter issue seems to be often overlooked and is replaced by, oh, we better have water, oh, we better have food, we better have fire, we got to make sure we know how to start a fire, we got to have propane, and we got to have stoves, and we got to make a meal, and we got to make tea and coffee, and who's bringing a beer, and who's bringing a steak, and they're worried about all that. They're not worried about being covered up. They're not worried about being warm. They're not worried about being out of the rain. They're not worried about having enough space to put a sleeping system in and putting their gear in, taking their boots off, or having room to change their clothes. They're not worried about all that. They're worried about everything else but the shelter, which I find to be odd on trips like that. So I'm a shelter guy. I'm a shelter guy if you have a tent. I'm a shelter guy if you have a tarp. I'm a shelter guy if you have a bivvy, swag roll, garbage bags. Whatever you got to do. Where you get baton wood. See, I'm for that because you got to do that before it gets dark. Not you have to start a fire before it gets dark. You got to put up your shelter before it gets dark because to do that in the dark is not the way to go. Sometimes you have to do it that way because you were delayed in getting to your destination before the predetermined time, right? We're going to get there around 4. We're going to find a campground. We're going to find a campsite. We're going to scout it out. We're going to gather firewood. There's a lot of work involved in these treks, but see, people don't take that into account. I hike with people that it didn't register to them. Then when we get there, they would be bitching about what they had to do. Well, we walked all day. Now we got to set up camp. Well, who do you think is going to do it? We're all here together. We all walked all day. It's not like you walked all day and I came in by airplane or I jumped out of the helicopter and I haloed in. You walked with me the 20 miles or the 15 miles or the 5, whatever it is. Now we got to do the other end of it. We got to set up camp. So to set up camp takes what? W-O-R-K. It takes work. It takes knowing what to do. It takes gear. And if you want to have a fire, it takes know-how. You got to go get the wood. I don't know what people are expecting. This is not the Harry Potter world of wizards and wands. I wish it was, but it's not. It's where it gets dark, it gets windy, and it's raining, and you're trying to put up shelter. You should have had the shelter up when you got there. How many times has it happened to you? You're the viewing public here. I can tell you how many times it's happened to me. It's happened to me solo. It's happened to me family. It's happened to me with groups. Nobody gives a shit about putting a shelter up. They're worried about a fire. We got to start a fire. Why? Why do we have to start a fire first? We got to put the tent up first, or find shelter first. Get in the trees. Go find a cave. We got to do that first. Put everything down. Get everything out of the weather. Then we could go screw around with everything else. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you all do? What's your experiences? Let me know. Let the shadow know. The shadow knows. The shadow's been everywhere I've been. He or she's not going to tell you that, but he or she's been everywhere. Shelter or fire? What's more important? Let me know.